Hello everyone, welcome back to our lecture series on power electronics. Hope you are well in this difficult time and for studying and preparing for your gate. Myself, Somma Samanta. Currently, I am a faculty member of Assam Engineering College under TECIP 3. Today, I am going to discuss on the topic boost converter. So let's start. So previously you have studied or previously we have discussed the topic buck converter under DC-DC power electronic conversion or DC-DC power electronic converter, where we convert one level of DC voltage or current to the another level of DC voltage or current. So in previous lecture you have seen the design of buck converter where we step down the voltage. We are giving a voltage and we reduce the voltage at the output using a converter which is called buck converter, which is also called step down converter, step down chopper. Now today I'll discuss the opposite one, which is the boost converter. Here I'll start from the buck converter circuit and then I'll establish the boost converter. So let's start. So what you have seen in the buck converter, let me draw the circuit. If I draw it in simple way, so this is diode, this is switch, this is diode, this is input side, this is input side, this is output side. This circuit was for buck converter or step down converter, where this is switch is turned on or off to control the output voltage. And there we have established that, suppose say this is the V in or Vs, V in, suppose say V input voltage, and this is the, suppose say here we have connected a load. Okay, here we have connected a load. This load is connected across the output terminal. Now the output voltage is, suppose say VO, this one. Now there we have seen, whenever we turned on the switch, this one, then basically input is connected to the output. Along with this one charged the inductor. And whenever we turned off this one, the basically inductor freewheels through the diode. This is the basic operation of buck converter. So basically what happened in that case, if I draw it here, suppose say this one was the Vs, suppose say constant voltage supply voltage, this is Vs, source voltage. What we did, if I change different color, what we did, whenever switch is turned on, the source is directly connected to the load, so we will get load voltage here up to this, and then the switch is turned off, that means we will get off time this time, and we will get, this is turned off, we will get 0 voltage because the voltage is shorted here to the diode. And then whenever it is turned on, we will get the voltage turned off, this will be off. So this is how it operates. And this one was time period, this is T on, this is T off, on time, off time. And what is the average voltage we get? we get an average voltage of, suppose say, this one is the average output voltage, we get it. This is V output voltage, average voltage, we get it. Now obviously you can see that V output is less than Vs. Therefore, when we can get V output is equals to Vs, only when the fully or T equals to T on. T on is equals to T total time continuous on, then only we will get it, otherwise we will not get this voltage. If I consider the ideal condition, there is no loss in the switches and inductors. So this is the buck converter or the step down converter, where I step down the voltage. We have the Vs at the input voltage, this one, and we are getting output this or any other voltage depending on the on time and off time control, which is called the duty cycle. What we have seen, if I write the small d indicate, it is called the duty cycle, which is equals to T on by total time. So this is the duty cycle. If we control the duty cycle, basically if we control the on time, we can control the voltage, and we have seen that output voltage, which is equals to d times of the input voltage or the source voltage. This is what we have seen earlier. So this is the simple buck converter circuit. Output voltage, what is the operation on and off, that is the main basics. Now how to establish the boost converter from the buck converter, how to get the boost converter circuit. Now initially there is one converter, then there is no confusion, but whenever you will study number of converters, then it makes confusion that where the diode is placed, where the switch is placed, where the inductor is placed. These three, the position of these three changes. So therefore it makes confusion. Now how to remove this confusion, I will discuss that and I will tell you that how to remember. Means if you understand the philosophy, you don't have to remember. So let us see how it operates. Now in boost converter, what will happen? We will basically get the voltage which is more than the supply voltage or input voltage. We will control this and we will get the voltage, that is the V output will be more than the Vs. That will be for the boost converter. In buck converter, V output is the less than the boost supply voltage. In boost converter, we will get V output which is more than that. Now if I draw this circuit in little bit different way, let me show you little bit different way how we can do it. If suppose say I am taking a center point, then I am representing this one using single pole double throw switch. Single pole double throw switch. What I am representing, I'll tell you now. So here this is the throw T1 and this is T2. This is pole P. Okay, this is throw T1, this is T2, and this is pole P. Now how the switch will operate? The switch will be either connected to this one or it will be connected to T2. Either it will be connected to T1 or T2. And moving from T1 to T2. This happens. Now suppose this is the switch which are this power electronic, instead of this power electronic switch part, we are representing is SPDT switch, single pole double throw switch. Now if I connect the inductor will be always connected to the pole. Okay, it will not be connected to the throw because the throws will be either open or closed for certain time. It will be closed for certain time and then it will be open for certain time. But P will be either connected to T1 or T2. So it will be always connected in the circuit. So inductor will be connected to the pole P1, and now if I connect here, that is the source voltage. That is the input voltage. If I say input or the source voltage, I am denoting this one as the Vs, source voltage. Now this is the T1, and now what I am doing, let me connect a load here. Let me connect the load here. This is the output terminal. This is the output terminal. So what is the VO? This is VO plus minus Okay. Now if, please understand this one very carefully. uh, this is plus, this is minus. Whenever this pole is connected to through T1, what will happen? What will be this one? This will be the flow of current through the inductor, through this part and through the inductor. So what is the direction of the current flow? The direction of the current flow is this one. This is the flow of the current, and this charge the inductor. Basically this charge the inductor will get this polarity plus of VL, and then we will get the, then basically Vs will be directly connected to the V output. We will get V output equals to, this is Vs minus VL. In steady state we will get the Vs. So this is the direction of the current. Fine. Now whenever this is connected, what is this polarity? This will be plus. What is the polarity? Minus. So the switch, this part is the blocking, this polarity. This polarity is the blocking polarity for this P and T2, between this P and T2. Now if I remove this and if I connect this here, it is T2, what will happen? So this was during the on time. During the on time, P was connected to T1. During off time, basically off means this switch is off, then P is connected to T2. It will be connected either this one or this one. Now whenever this is connected, so basically this polarity, this is the inductor. Now the inductor discharges. Previously it has charged from the source. Now it will discharge. Whenever it will discharge, this will be the polarity. Now what will be the flow of current? This is the flow of current. So if I say the direction of current is this, direction of the current is this. This is the direction of the current. Now what will be the blocking polarity of this one? So this is positive, this one, and this will be negative, because this is the negative polarity. You can see this is the negative polarity and this is connected to this. So this will be the negative part. So plus minus, this is the blocking polarity, this is the conduction direction. Now if I replace this, if I show you, so this is how the current flow through the load maintains, and the rest part has been discussed earlier. So now what happens? So this is the direction of the current is this, and what is the blocking polarity is this plus minus. Which one can do this? The best suitable one is the diode. If I connect the diode here this way, now what will happen? This is the conduction direction and this is the blocking polarity. Okay, this is suitable here. Now what about the switch? That means we can use the transistor also. The transistor can be a good option. Suppose say I am drawing here IGBT here. This one. So what is the direction of the conduction? This is the direction of the conduction. What is the blocking polarity? This. Whenever it is not gated, whenever gate pulse is not given, then this will be the, I have given replace to the IGBT. This is a transistor. So now this is the circuit for buck converter. Now if you match with this one, this is the same circuit. This is the switch SW, this is diode D, and this is load inductor, this is load. Fine. So this is the structure, the buck converter. Now similarly, what I can do, now from the same circuit, this is called the leg. This switch is called this is switch and diode, this is called the switch leg of the switches. Okay. Now in this case, if we interchange the load and source, if we interchange the position of the load and source and interchange this position, diode and switch, we will get boost converter. Let us see the same. So what I have told, we will just interchange the position. This is the throw T1, where what will be this one? This will be the diode case, diode, and there what I will connect? I will connect IGBT, the switch. I will connect. Sorry, mistake. Okay, inductor will be always connected with this, always at the center point, always, for this kind of construction. Which, okay, now we have changed this position. Where we will connect here? We will connect here the source. So basically this behaves as a current source, you can say that. Now this is where we will connect the load. This is where we will connect a load. This plus V output. This is Vs minus plus. This is inductor L. So what we did? Position of the load and source we have changed. Now position of the switch and this one. How we can change this one? It is not random. If we go for the this type of analysis, that is SPDT switch analysis, then we will understand this is how to. So what is the direction of the current? Current direction is this one. What is the polarity? Blocking polarity, this one. What is the current direction of this? This is the current direction. What is the blocking polarity? Blocking polarity is this. This is the blocking polarity. Now this type of switches, these are coming from the characteristics of the switches or the characteristics of the circuit operation. So this is nothing but a boost converter or step up converter. So what it happens whenever the switch is turned on, then what happens? The current flows through this. This is the current flows through this. Now whenever it is turned on, so basically this will be plus, this will be minus. So obviously this will be in reverse bias. So it will not conduct and current will flow through this one whenever switch is on. This is the direction. Now whenever this switch is off, this is switch means this one is the switch and this one is the diode. Whenever the switch is off, then what will happen? Switch is off means this circuit is open, this part of the circuit is open, switch is off. So what will happen? Under this condition, basically this will be the direction of the current. From there it will start and it will flow through this and it will return back to this source. This is off. Now in this case, basically the inductor will discharge. Previously inductor has charged the energy, next it will discharge, obviously to make the system stable or for the stability purpose. Otherwise this will not be stable. Continuously if it will go on charging, it will increase the energy. That cannot happen. So it will release the energy. So what will happen? This is the VL, polarity will change. And I will change the color. So this will be plus, this is minus. So what will happen? So in first case we will get, this is disconnected, so we will get V output equals to 0. Nothing is connected. Now in another case, this is suppose say VL. What will be the initially this is charged to VL, which can be maximum. The VL maximum value can be VS, maximum value. It can charge up to VS. Now what will happen? Next case, whenever this is switch is off, so what will the V output? V output will be Vs plus VL. That means the voltage across this one. So this is the condition. Okay. Now let me draw these things. Let me erase this part. So here I have shown that easiest way to remember is this one. First, this is the step down, and this is the step up. One more way you can remember, that is that diode position. In case of step down, diode position is the down position. In case of step up, diode position is up position. So obviously if diode position is up position, obviously the switch will be another one, another case. Now the same analysis you can do using SPDT switch also. You just connect an SPDT switch here. here it will be once it will be connected to this through T1. This is supposed to T2. It will be connected to T2, and another case it will be connected to T1. Okay. Whenever it will be connected to T1 means diode is conducting. Whenever it is connected to T2 means the switch is conducting. In a similar way. Now let us find out the output voltage as compared to the input voltage. The output voltage, this one, if we talk about this, so you can see that the V is Vs plus VL. So obviously the V output is greater than the Vs. V output is greater than the Vs. No. So what we get? So if this is the Vs, suppose this is Vs. Now controlling the duty cycle, we can get this output which is more than the input voltage. This is the V output. This is Vs. So what is the average value? Suppose depending on this time, if we increase the on time, if we increase this on time of this one, that means more time it is turned on and less time it is turned off. More time it is turned on, less time it is turned off. Because if I do this, then we will get the voltage around this. Average value around this, somewhere like this. So we will get the boosting operation. So in boost converter, what happens? First it's charge the inductor stores energy, and then this energy is discharged, this energy along with this voltage source and this total part, this totally discharged to the load. That is how we get the voltage more than this source voltage. So this is the basics of the basic operation of boost converter. This is the basic operation of boost converter. Now what is how we can control the voltage, output voltage? Basically controlling the on time and off time. That means the total, this is the total time period, this is T on, this is T off. I'm writing here T off, this is here, this distance, and this is T on, this is total time period. So obviously what is total time period T? T equals to T on plus T off. T on plus T off. What is the on and off means? On and off of the switch, this switch I am talking. So this is 1 by F. What is F? This is the switching frequency. This is the switching frequency. How fast we are switching this device. The switching frequency is equals to T on plus T off. Okay, fine. So this is all about the basic part, and now let me explain, let me derive this part. That means what is the current waveform, how it will, what is the inductor current waveform mainly. That is very important. And what are the mode of operations. Now let me draw the circuit here. Let me draw the circuit here. This is the circuit already drawn, so I am not drawing this circuit, I am just drawing the modes. So first SW is on, SW is on, then switch is on. In that case, what will be the circuit? Circuit will be, I am just doing the reverse way, I am just doing reverse way, the Vs I am taking in this side, taking Vs in this side, input side, which is convenient for us, inductor, then there is a short here. Okay, then there basically the diode is connected here. Diode is I am turning off this part. This part I am turning off. Now here the load is connected. This is the load is connected. So this is the load is connected. So to get the constant voltage, we generally connect a capacitor across this load. Okay. For the time being, I am not considering. Later on, I will consider and take the analysis or take the part in for the analysis. So this is L, and this is L. This is what will happen. The current will flow through this. This is minus. This is Vs, and this is VL. I think it is not visible. Still, it is VL. You just understand. This is VL. So plus minus. This is charging. So inductor will be charged, and this is L. Now, if we consider small r, that means the internal resistance of this inductor. This is very smaller. Now, what will this is called? This is called mod 1. Mod 1. This is the mod 1 means on operation. Now, what is the circuit behavior? What is the circuit behavior we'll get, or the equations what we'll get? That is equals to Vs equals to L di. Now, let's take this is I1. Let's take this is I1. So the di I1 dt plus smaller into I1. Okay. So this is the circuit behavior. This is for mod 1. Now let us save some space here, and let us save some space, and M1 I am writing the equation here. This is Vs equals to L di1 by dt plus R I1. Now if I solve this one, I'll get, this is the first order differential equation. So if I solve this one, well, what is the standard form? This is the ISS. This is the steady state value. This is the ISS steady state value. The K into the e to the power minus of, this is T by tau 1, suppose. Now how we get it? This one. To get this one, let me form this expression in this way. di1, not here. Let me put it at the here. di1 dt plus small r by L I1 is equals to Vs by L. So this is the expression. Now what is the tau 1? From there we can get the whole expressions. Now how we can find out the ISS? ISS we can get the steady state value, means there is no dynamics, that is 0. If I make 0, what will the I1 will get? We will get that is equals to ISS. This is V by small r. This one ISS. Now what else? This is the tau. Tau 1 is equals to, basically this is the if I consider this is A, this is the 1 by A is the tau 1, or this is 1 by tau 1. So tau 1 equals to basically the L by smaller. This is the tau 1 time constant. Now how to find out this K? K we can find out from the initial condition. So now let us put the value. This is Vs by R plus K into e to the power minus T by L into R, sorry, T into a smaller, this is L, this is IT. Now if we consider T equals to 0 at the initial condition, what is the IT? I1T, obviously I1T will be just to what? This is I1, let's say, or we can consider 0 also. Let's say it is starting from the 0 current, or it has some initial current, that is that I1. This is the initial current through the inductor at the time of switching. Now let us say, let us consider I1, which will be easier for us later on. You can consider 0 also, no issues. Now if we consider this one, so what we can do, what we can put it, I1, which is equals to Vs. What we are going to find out finally? Finally, we are going to find out K value. This is Vs by R, and e to the power minus of this is t equals to 0. So this is e to the power 0 means minus of 0 is 1. So we will get this is plus K. So what is the K? K equals to, basically we are getting I1 minus of V by R. So finally what we are going to get it, I1t, which is equals to Vs by R into 1 minus e to the power t by tau 1, I am writing for the time to save the space, plus I1 e to the power minus t by tau 1. So this is the final expression for I1 during the transient conditions, after the transients, the transient behavior. This is one expressions. I am just keeping it here. This is expression number 1. Next, the mod 2. I'll explain the mod 2. What is the expression for the mod 2? So now, if I draw it, let me erase this part. If I draw it, that is L by R. Let me write it down at right side and draw it here. So what is this? This is the tau 1 equals to L by smaller. So what I have considered, this is the on time. On time. What is the voltage at the on time? 0. Output voltage is 0. This is suppose say input voltage. Output voltage is 0. You are getting. Now that time what is the inductor current? That is very important. That is the I1t. I1t is basically the inductor current. This is I1t. So I1t. What happens? This is, so at t equals to 0. At t equals to 0, what is the value? This is t equals to, this will be 1. 1 minus 1, this will be 0. So this whole part will be 0. At t equals to 0. This will be 1. 1 minus 1, 0. So this part will be 0. Now what is at t equals to 0? This will be 1. So we'll get I1 only. I1 will remain. At t equals to 0, this it will be I1. So we are getting, let's say this is I1. Okay. What is the final value? Final value means at t tends to infinity. After a very large value, what will be this one? This part will be 0. This part will be 0. So we are going to get it Vs by R. This is the final value. So the final value, suppose say here, this is Vs by R. Now if we do not change the circuit condition, that means we do not change the switch positions, then it will settle down. It will start from here, exponentially increase, and it will settle down at this point. That is the final value Vs by R. Now if we change the switch in between, then thing will be different. That is, then it depends on the when we change the switch. Now suppose say whenever it reaches, suppose say it is I2. Let me denote it, this is I2. Here it changes, then we have changed the switch position. Now what will happen in this case? It is going to the final value, steady state value, but before that I have changed the position. It has reached to this point and then I change the position. Then let's see what happens. Now this is on, now this is off. Now if I turn off the switch, what will happen? That is the mode 2. I am going to modify here. It's the mode 2. That is switch is off. Initially now it is charged up to this. This will be off and there will be a diode here, so this will be short circuited. This voltage is output voltage plus minus. Now let us consider that this is the resistive load RL value. I am considering this is the resistive load with RL value, and this is the L and this is small r. Now what will happen? So this will be the flow of current, that is I2. This will be the flow of current. Now what will be the change here? Here the change will be, this will be I2, and here this will be smaller plus RL into I1, sorry, I2. Fine. So now if we say that R plus RL equals to capital R, I am denoting this capital R. So basically it will simplify this expression. Otherwise the expression will be same. This will go at, instead of tau 1, this will be tau 2. Previously if it was ISS 1, now it will be ISS 2. It will be different. Now what will be the ISS? ISS will be, in this case, ISS, or the mod 2 I am discussing. Whole equations I am modifying for mod 2. Mod 2 ISS, let's say ISS 2. I am giving ISS 2 in tau 2. So what will be the ISS 2? ISS 2 will be the Vs by capital R. Okay. And what will be tau 2? This will be the L by capital R. This will be the tau 2. Now the expression will be L by, this is the capital R. This one will be capital R. Instead of 1, this will be 2 T I2. Now at t equals to 0. T equals to 0 means at this point when it is now for I2 we are considering I2 t equals to 0 is this one. For I2 t equals to 0 is this one. Now in this case what is the value? Value is I2. At t equals to 0 this is I2. So let us consider, let us find out I2. What is I2? I2 is this plus K, this is R. So this will be R. Okay. So what is the final value? This is this one steady state value where it will settle down. Now this will be the change. This will be R. This will not be I1. This will be I2. Okay. Now at t equals to 0, what we'll get? We'll get I2. That means from here it will start. And what will the final value? That will be Vs by R. This one. Suppose this is somewhere else. Here at this point, Vs by R. After a long time, it will settle down here. Now, what will happen? This will be exponentially decaying in nature. How we can say that this is decaying in nature? Let us understand. Here there is a little bit mistake here. Let us take, this is small time constant. This will be exponentially decaying here. And at I1, I am again changing the switch. So basically it will again turn on. So the switch is turned on, then again it will go up there, and it will turn like this. So this will be the inductor current IL or I1 here. So this is I1, this is I2, this one, this is I1, this is on time, this is off time. Sorry. So we can see that how it is happening. So I have changed the switch when it is reached to I1. So now if we see that, suppose previous case for mod 1, if I say ISS 1, which is equals to Vs by smaller. What happened? What is the ISS 2? ISS 1 is the previous case. Mod 1. Mod 2 is ISS 2. So this is Vs by R. Now how we can saying that this is decaying in nature? So that I can, that I'm just explaining. So what is this final value? The initial value. This is initial value. This is final value. This will be for this case for mod 2. This will be final value for mod 1. Now R is less than capital R. Therefore, we can say that ISS 2 ISS 1 is more than ISS 2. So therefore ISS 2 will be less than the ISS 1. So this gives us indication that this will basically decay. This will reduce. Okay. So this is one conclusion. And now, obviously, in order to get I1 to I2 and I2 to I1, to get this, obviously one thing is that on time should be greater than off time. Off time. The time for on time. Why? Because if you see that what is the tau 1? Tau 1 is, if I consider L is equals to equals, so R is greater than this one. So obviously tau 1 will be much greater than, not much greater, tau 1 will be greater than tau 2. If the time constant 1 is greater than time constant 2, so it will take larger time to reach from I1 to I2, whereas for off condition it will take smaller time because it's less, so smaller time to reach I1 to I2. Fine. So these are the some concluding statement here. So I1 we have got it, I2 we have got it. This is during transient conditions. So from here, what we are getting? We are getting the current waveform, that is the current through this inductor, waveform the current through the inductor, and that, so that one we are getting. So what will the output voltage here? In this case, we will get here. This is V out. This is Vs. So next, so mode 1 explained, mode 2 explained what is the current waveform, and this is the output voltage also. Next is that if I linearize this one, if I consider this linear circuit, then what will happen? What will the behavior? Now, if I linearize or if I simplify this one, we can consider that there is a, if I linearize this current, the change of the current, we can consider this is the straight line from I1 to I2. Again, we can consider this from I2 to I1. This is the straight line. This is how it is the linear. If we consider the current is varying linearly here, so basically if we consider this R2 equals to 0, we will get this linearly varying waveform. Now in this case, what we will get it? And we have to basically find out the expression of duty cycle or input output voltage relationship, output voltage to the input voltage. What is the relationship? What similarly what we have found out in the buck converter. Buck converter we have found out V output equals to D into Vs. Okay, this is a very useful relationship. Now similarly, what is the relationship between the output and input here? So let us find out that. Let's derive that part. Just skip this part. Let me clean the portion, then I'll start explaining. Okay, so this is the circuit for mode 2. So here let us little bit modify. Now let us consider that is there is a capacitor connected. We have found out the expression for there is a inductor current. Now let us say this is basically filter capacitor connected here to maintain the voltage stable. So what is the average voltage we are getting? This is the V output. What is the voltage V output? This one. What is the average voltage? Is this V output is the average voltage we are getting at the output voltage. Now we are not considering the small r, suppose say. So this is for mode 2, and what will happen in case of mode 1? Now if I remove this, so this figure is not needed now. We are going to establish the relationship of the duty cycle, input output relationship in terms of duty cycle, that is T on by T. If I draw it here, so first let us take the input voltage. Inductor, and then this will be short circuited, and then this part, this part open. Now we will basically connect R load, RL. Here also I am just removing this one, connecting an R load. This connection is RL, and this is the output voltage is VO. This is the average voltage. Okay. So there also we are getting output voltage VO plus minus. Now here we are connecting capacitor. Now what will happen? This is L. So this is mode 1. Mode 1, that means switch is on. This is mode 2. This is switch is off. SW equals to on. This is mode 1, switch is on. This is mode 2, switch is off. Now what happens in this case? If I consider the linearly varying inductor current, the output relationship will be VL, which is equals to VS for mode 1. For mode 1, this is equals to Vs, which is equals to Vl, which is equals to L di1 dt. Fine. Now what we'll get if we suppose say di1, which is equals to Vs by L into dt. If I integrate both sides, what we will get? We will get I1 in terms of suppose T, which is equals to Vs by L into T plus suppose say I1 initial condition. Now this is the first expression for I1. Now, so what will get mod 2? So what we are getting basically, okay, complete it from itself here itself. Now what is the, let's say final value, the final value of the I1 is I2. What is the final value here? This is I2. This value, this I2 is final value, this is initial value for this case, for mod 1. What is I2? This is equals to, if I take minus I1, so I2 minus I1, which is equals to Vs by L into T. So obviously this T is basically nothing but T1. Okay. So this equals to, we can write delta I, which is equals to Vs by L into T T on. Now similarly for mod 2, so we can see the delta I means there is a change, we can find out, that is Vs by T, this is a slope, and T on. Now similarly there is a Vs, we can write for this case, we can write this is equals to L di2 dt plus VO. This is the output voltage. Now what we can write, this is equals to di2 integration, which is equals to Vs minus VO by L into dt integration over. So what we will get, I2t, which is equals to Vs minus VO by L into T. Fine. So now if we put here, so what is the final value of I2t? This is nothing but suppose say I1, suppose. So okay, I will get, this is initial condition, that is that I2. So I1 will get, so what is equals to I1? I1 equals to, okay, I1, let me take, and this is another side. That is that this is I1 equals to I2 plus Vs minus Vo by L into T. T is T off. This is T off. So I2 minus I1, this is the delta I, which is equals to Vo minus Vs. There will be minus, this will come this side, there will be minus sign, so minus sign is absorbed here. This one, it is the T off, that is the T minus T on. This T off, this is T minus T on. Okay. So this is what we have got. So delta I here, also there is also delta I we have got expression 1, this is for delta I, expression 2. Now if I replace this both the cases delta I, so what we will get, this is the Vs into T on by L, which is equals to, if I see here, that is the Vo minus Vs, Vo minus Vs by L into T minus T on. Therefore, if we integrate both the side, no need. Why to integrate? There is no differentiation. Sorry. So let's cancel this part. So what we are getting, Vs into T on. If I take it, there is a okay. Let's take T off itself initially, then we'll replace later on. T off. So this one will be Vs into Tn plus T off. This is equals to Vo of T off. Instead of T off, now I will write T minus T on. So this is equals to total time period T, Vs into T, which is equals to Vo into T minus T on. So we'll get Vo by Vs, which is equals to capital T by T minus T on, which we can write that 1 by 1 minus duty cycle D. What is D? D equals to T on by T. So what we can find out, that is Vo is equals to Vs by 1 minus D. This is the final expression for input output relationship, input voltage and output relationship between the input voltage and output voltage in terms of duty cycle for boost converter. This is the relationship for the boost converter. So Vo equals to Vs by 1 minus D. So here what we can find out, the D expression we can find out that so if I take this way, this is the Vs. So 1 minus D equals to Vs by Vo. So D equals to 1 minus this. So Vo minus Vs by Vo. So this is the duty cycle if I replace, sorry, if I express in terms of duty cycle. So fine. Now let us, this is done. Now let us discuss about this design constant. That is that if we go for the continuous conduction, which is generally given from these portions, questions comes in gate basically, that continuous conduction if I consider, what will be the critical value of L, and for continuous voltage what is the critical value of the C, these two parts. Let us find out what are the expression for them. So now if I find out that if I express this one, there is a T on expression from there, I just continue from there. T on equals to basically delta I into L by Vs. Similarly, T off equals to what? Delta I into L by Vo minus Vs. So if I solve this, if I find out the total time period, which is equals to 1 by FSW, this is equals to T on plus T off, which is equals to, we can write that delta I into L, that is equals to VO by Vs into VO minus Vs. This is equals to this is the final expression. Now from there we can find out the expression of delta I, which is equals to in terms of switching frequency we will write, so delta I equals to Vs into Vo minus Vs by FSW and L V naught. This is the current expression. Now if we see now this is VO. If we see this part, if I change the color, this part is nothing but a duty cycle. So therefore we can write delta I, which is equals to Vs into duty cycle by L not N, this is V into FSW. This is the final expression of delta I. Okay, now if I consider, that is that if I consider I1 equals to 0 and I2, what is the delta I maximum value we can get? So suppose say the average value, let us draw quickly. This is suppose say value of the output current I0, and now we are getting from there. This is how we are getting. So from this value to this value, what is the maximum delta I? This is the delta I. So delta I can be, what can be the maximum value of the delta I? There is a 2 i's of, if this is the continuous condition, suppose this is the, suppose say this is the 0 line and it is touching this 0 line, immediately it is going up. So there is no discontinuity, just touching and going. So if in this case, what will the delta I? Delta I can be twice of I0. It is the average value of the load current. And even same current will flow through the inductor also, average value of the inductor current. Average value of inductor current. So now, what will happen here? So we can replace this into twice of, we can replace this one into twice of I0, which is equals to Vs into D of LFSW, which gives us the value of LC, critical value of the inductance. The critical value of the inductance is Vs into D by twice of I0 FSW. This is the critical value of the inductance. Now let us find out the critical value of the capacitance. Similarly, let us consider that the voltage ripple, capacitor voltage ripple, delta Vc, which is delta Vc. What is that value? The value can be Vc at initially t equals to 0 and minus Vc and t equals to t on, and Vc at t equals to 0. This is what we can find out. So we can find out the expression. We have to find out the expression that will be basically integration 0 to t 1 by c integration 0 to t on IC average value, IC into dt. So this will be basically IC into T on by C. T on minus 0, so this will be T on IC. And this IC is the average value of the current through the capacitor. Let us say this is the load current is flowing whenever there is no this time. Whenever this is not connected, suppose the current flow through this one is what? Is the load current. The load current is flowing through the capacitor. So load current is flowing through the capacitor. So let us consider that average value of load current is I naught. So in this case, we can find out this one. Now T on we can replace the T on equals to F. Sorry, D T on by T equals to D. So we can multiply this is the T on equal to dt. So D into D by F is W. That is what we can write. So what we can write is the I naught into D by C into FSW. So this is equals to nothing but a delta VC. That is the voltage ripple across the capacitor. Now if we find out that the average voltage is V0, if the voltage ripple is twice of the V0, similarly the way we have found out the current, if this is twice of the V0, what will be the I0 into D by C FSW? This is what we can find out. Now this is V0 can be written as twice of I0 into RL. So this equals to I0 into D by CFSW. I0 will cancel out. This I0 will cancel out. What we can find out? That is what we have to find out the C, the critical value of the capacitance. So that there is a continuous voltage. There is no discontinuity in the voltage to be found out. So what we can find out? This will range. We will get D by C into twice of RL FSW. This is now we can replace this D in terms of VO and VS also if the D is not available. If the D is available, then we can directly put and we can find out the value. So this is all about the design of the boost converter. What should be the L value, what should be the critical value of the inductance, critical value of the capacitance for continuous conduction. So that's all for today. So we will meet again tomorrow. Thank you.